Soul Garden.
Hey there, have you seen my latest video, Jupiter Gets Emotional? Come check it out at soulmart.me. Namaste, and welcome to Soul Horoscopes Orbits Edition. From my webcam to yours, I'm Christopher Witecki, your astrologer and soul biographer, here to help you put the pieces of your karmic story together. And please forgive my absence the last 4 weeks. I have been facing my own karmic story, which has been repeating and repeating for the last year. So thank you to all those who sent good support, love, and your prayers. I really appreciate it. I got all the notes, everything. Thank you very much. So let's talk about what's going on. Have you had ascension sickness? That's what we call it when you have to grow super fast. When the spirit grows faster than the body, we get sick. Let's look at Mr. Orbits Man. Now, I don't know if you know this, but the planets all align with the chakras. And this map here shows you how each planet aligns with each chakra. Well, the chakra that's been giving us a sick stomach literally has been the third chakra, which is our yellow chakra. That's because thoughts and feelings come together there. Now, for the last year, Jupiter was in Gemini, expanding thoughts and throwing off the two in their balance. Now, Jupiter's in Cancer, having emotions expand and perhaps throwing them away from thoughts. So, put simply, if you're having ascension sickness, having problems eating, which may lead to problems sleeping, really what you need to do is align your thoughts with your feelings, get those two on the same side. Now, the sun is moving into Leo, which means we're working on the heart chakra, that beautiful green one there, and that means we'll be working on it for the next 2 months. You may not know this, but Chiron also rules the heart chakra along with the sun. So, healing, loving, being in the moment, that's what it's about. But let's look at the planets and what caused all this shift, shall we? Here's a sneak peek. Womp womp! That's right. That's Monday, if you don't know. And there's so much going on, I have to layer it piece by piece. It really begins with a soul pyramid. We got a soul pyramid in Earth starting off the week. That's going to allow us to change reality, rapid fire, and fast. On top of that, a soul pyramid in water, a grand trine aligning our emotions so we get used to the way it feels right away as well. A yod pointing to the sun pulls in our intuition and our ability to kill things into love. That's basically a creation yod right there. You can't put it any simpler than that. Then we've got an opposition, a little tug-of-war between Saturn and the Moon, 2 more oppositions, and a square. That's the one between Uranus and Pluto. We've been feeling that one for a long time. Another square between Uranus and Black Lilith. Oh, that's fun. 1 more square between the Sun and the Moon, so feelings and our love isn't talking to each other. And 1 more squares. I love is not talking to boundaries. So all these parts of us are talking to us with the trines. All these parts of us are in fights with each other or ourselves. And that's what I'm going to talk about. When we get up in the ascension elevator and get up to the clouds, I'm going to talk about what this means for each of the 12 zodiacs in your rising signs and how it turns into happiness or not happiness for you. Look at that spirograph. It's so pretty. All right, let's not wait any further. Let's take the ascension elevator and take a better look at you.
Folks, this is your captain speaking. We realize you have a choice in the astrologers you choose to fly with, and we'd just like to thank you for flying with Christopher Witecki.
Hello, my Sagittarians and Sagittarius risings. Welcome to 33,000 feet for a bird's eye view of you. Such a pleasure to be back on the air, and I appreciate your patience and your support. I do love you too. It's been intense. The turbulence has been crazy. Jupiter in Gemini wrapping up, putting so much pressure on Sagittarius relationships. I myself gained a couple Sag friends, lost a couple Sag friends, and got closer to one of my greatest Sag friends. So I understand it is all about changing the way we relate and connect to other people. And with you, it has to do with ideas and the free flow of ideas. And that's what Jupiter in Gemini was about. So marriage expansion. So why the hell aren't you in a happy marriage? Well, if you are, good for you. You're one of the rare ones. Post on Soul Garden. Help the Sages out, will you? But if you're not, I say it's because of boundaries. Jupiter in Cancer means you'll be focusing on trust and intimacy, starting with trusting yourself. Like, for instance, when you're in a bad relationship, do you trust yourself to leave it? That's a good example of trust, right? Or do you trust yourself to tell the person it's not going to work out? Or do you trust yourself to try a relationship? Or do you trust yourself to take the relationship to the next level? Jupiter in Cancer will spend a full year putting gravity on trust issues for Sag and Sag risings. If you are a Sagittarius that's cheating on your spouse or someone else, you're going to get caught. I'm telling you, I know this stuff. But if you're a Sagittarius that's getting cheated on, you're going to be shown that you're being cheated on. That's kind of how it happens. You are very emotional about boundaries, and I think Sagittarius are too trusting. Why is that? Well, part of it is because of Jupiter and Gemini. It's because you allow yourself to fall in love with ideas and not necessarily pay attention to the actual energy crossing the boundary, because that Sag adventurous mind will go off running into some sort of la-la land and not notice the fact that Mr. is 5 hours late or whatever. Or you'll let Mr. be 5 hours late because you know you'll be 5 hours late. Oh, I know how Sagittarius work. Don't even try it. But the sun's actually in Leo. So what we're talking about is your belief structure and how beliefs play into trust and intimacy. We're in chapter 1 of Sun in Leo, and this is what you love the most: believing, adventure, travel, expansion. But it comes down to where you are not paying attention to your own beliefs. Now, what is a belief? A belief is an idea your heart agrees with. It doesn't matter what science says. At the end of the day, the earth was flat, then round. It used to be the smallest thing was an atom. Now it's a God particle. Come on. It's always expanding. Do you know what the difference is? What we love. What we love is what we actually believe. If some cuckoo bird believes they're a dolphin because they love being dolphins, who's going to stop that person, right? Now they look like a goof going down the street with goggles on and all that stuff, but they're happy. If you follow your heart, you are happy, and beliefs about happiness. So bringing back up the graphic. In chapter 1, anywhere you have false beliefs, they will come crashing down here this week and moving into the next. These are your heartfelt facts. This, of course, is the basis of knowledge, education, and your opinions and where you go next. And that on top of it is life purpose. So by the end of the month, Sagittarius may have a completely new life purpose. It's very likely. A lot of people changing directions this month. Now looking at the planets, the sun is at step 5 as I start this video and gets to step 11. That means you will root out where you have corruption in your mind, and you will begin healing your learning path as of Sunday. So ignorance will no longer be bliss, but you'll be on the right path. But look at all this stuff still focusing on trust and intimacy. Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, and Black Lilith all saying you've got to expand your trust in yourself. That doesn't stop just because the sun goes into Leo. It's just now where you trust around love. And of course, trust should all be around love, right? The only thing we should protect is what we love. The only thing we shouldn't care about is what we don't love. Now, Saturn in Scorpio is blazing ahead. It's at step 5. This is inner faith. Unfortunately, Sag, you will have nothing but obstacles in front of you because it's about building inner faith. This means you have no more time to fall into self-sabotaging, circular, subconscious thoughts. No more time to escape in your subconscious. If you're one of those Sag hippies that's doing nothing but staying stoned, you're out of time. You got to connect to spirit authentically, not synthesize it with drugs. But no matter what the case is, you must move forward and have strong boundaries. Don't fall into the traps you know about. It will make it worse. Pluto in Capricorn is retrograde, though. That means money problems are on hold. Thank Goddess. That means you're going to retrograde. You're going to reconsider. It's time to get to the core of what makes you really valuable. You will end the year with Pluto direct and feeling like you're on a healthy path to manifestation of money and self-confidence. But right now you are reconsidering what makes you valuable anyways. And that's a very good question to ask yourself. What makes you valuable anyways? Well, let's take a look at last week first to start off our little transit here. Last week, the sun in Leo began with a full moon at 0 degrees in Aquarius. This might have been a mind versus theory versus belief kind of fight. You might get an argument with a honey or something. Mercury is making you pretty radical there at 13 degrees, especially about boundaries. You might have kind of tripped out on boundaries over a mind game. But what it set up for you was, hey, do my beliefs really suit me? Am I running around like a robot of my parents' intentions, or have I come up with my actual belief structure? And if everything I believe is not what my parents believe it or not, that's still based on your parents. So it's really about uncovering where your mind undoes things and where your beliefs don't suit you. And this last weekend, any breakdowns from Friday to Sunday would have been just that. False beliefs causing breakdowns. And that brings us to this week. This week is a very cloudy week. Welcome to Leo, first of all. It's about finding what your heart wants. But for you, it's about really what you believe. So some of you actually might be contemplating a trip or trying to get into a new university. You might have found that you didn't get into your first choice if you're a student. Sagittarius are always students. You know what I'm talking about. But Sunday is a pensive day. Notice the whole week, though, Jupiter's at 7 degrees in Cancer. That means when it comes to where the line is, you need to intuit it. You need to ask your higher self. In fact, spiritual miracles are possible all week long. I talk about that in the Act 2 videos, the spiritual miracles of this week and the next, really where you can perform stuff never seen before or meet somebody never you thought you could meet. That's if you listen to your intuition. Neptune retrograde means you must get down and pray, do the yoga, do the chanting, do the meditating, whatever your God service provider is, do it this week, particularly Tuesday and Wednesday. What are you asking for? Well, you're asking for to cut out the bullshit and get to the core of what your heart really believes about anyone or anything that you're grappling with. What does your heart really believe? Because if your heart believes that it is true, that's where Sagittarius get screwed up. They want proof. Proof on a world that's spinning around 8,000 miles an hour. Well, on Thursday, it's time to decide what school you won't go to, what you don't believe in, what religion you won't practice. You're stepping away on Thursday. You're cutting and deciding what is bullshit and what is real and stepping in toward the direction of your heart. On Friday, you do the actual stepping, so don't worry. You don't got to tell people except for 24 hours later. And then on Saturn Day, if you've done the work, you are holding, loving, and trusting. So you are a butterfly, feeling hatched out of that old situation. And isn't it surprising that a belief could hatch you out of a situation? That's how powerful belief is for Sagittarius. Neptune retrograde does continue all week. Now let's take a sneak peek at next week, one of my new features. Sunday, August 4th, it's a Synergy Energy Virgo Healing Day, so Sunday ought to feel pretty good no matter what happens. And the following Tuesday, that's the real turning point. That's the day where you'll be light casting. That's light cast day, it's Uranus ruled. That's where you'll find out if you won the sweepstakes, if you're going to college or whatever, or that's where you'll be taking it to the next level. So the good news is we are getting out of this transit pretty quickly. I do have some stuff down on Earth I want to talk to you about. For one, my Jupiter Gets Emotional video. Now, this is a video that I haven't done before. It lasts 6 months long. It covers July till December, and it focuses only on Jupiter and Cancer. We haven't had this transit since 2001. So those of you going back to school, is it a 12-year cycle for you? Either way, this is available now in MP3. So if you're a Sag who wants to listen to me in the gym, bring me on in. And it's available for immediate download at soulmart.me. The Act 2 videos have been lowered in price to $3.99. That's because they only got one chapter left. But if you didn't get one of these, pick one up while you're down there. It's super helpful. Will help guide you through the belief structure questions. This is the last month for my $99.99 Serious Joy readings. This is where you can work one-on-one with me on camera. It is recorded on MP3, and it will change your life. Ask anyone who's gotten a reading. I'm really good at this. I've been doing it for a long time and quite proud of it. These are all available at soulmart.me. Then lastly, I'd like to invite you down to my classroom, Sag Rising or Sagittarius. It's called Practical Wizardry. It's where I help you step into the magic. Now, magic is a very real thing. It's been going back to the beginning of time. It's just been disguised. So let me reveal magic, myths, and medicine of the ancient centuries right here on soulguard.tv. Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern. That's 3 p.m. Pacific. All right, my archers, that's all I have for this week, but I do love you, and I'll see you next week. Until then, live, love, be.